Hi everybody, it's Jenny from the Missouri Star Quilt Company, and I've got a great project for you today. Let's take a look at this quilt behind me. Isn't this fun? There's a lot of movement in this quilt, and it's a quick and easy block. So to make this quilt, what you're going to need is one roll of 2.5-inch strips. That's 40, and we have used this awesome line called Scribbles Double Scoops by Andover. Just a really fun line. You're going to need, for your background fabric, you're going to need 2¼ yards, and that takes care of your sashing, your first border, and all these little blocks in here. For your outer border, you're only going to need 1 yard because you can see we've done something really fun out here with these smaller blocks, and I can't wait to show you where we got those from. You're also going to need 4¼ yards of backing, and our backing here, that's what it looks like. It's a nice red backing from the line, and this block is so fun to make, so let me show you how to do it. The first thing you're going to do is you're going to unwrap your roll, and you're going to select 24, and you're going to sew those together in sets of 3 like this. So we have 3 sewn together. We used 1/4 inch, and we ironed them all going the same direction. Then what we're going to do is we're going to cut these strips into 4.5-inch segments. So we're going to line these up here, and you can see our selvages are different lengths. We're just going to trim those off so we get a nice clean edge to start from, like this. And you're going to cut up your whole strip. It takes 4 of these pieces to make a block. So we're cutting 2 at a time. So we've got 4.5 like this, 2, and make sure these stay nice and straight. You know, if you ever wonder if you're still straight, watch your seam lines on your ruler. You know, you can make sure that these seam lines are matching up with your seam. And of course also line it up with your ruler and your mat. So we need 8 of these, and that will make 2 blocks. There we go. All right. So now we're going to take our block, and because we have 2 blocks, we're going to separate them into 2 piles. And we are going to snowball a corner. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a background square that is 4.5, and we're going to do this on each block. There we go. And I'm going to draw some lines on here so that I have a line to sew on. Now I'm actually going to draw 2 lines. So I'm going to draw 1 line corner to corner like this. And then I'm going to move my ruler over 1/2 inch and draw another line, because we are going to sew this twice and then turn it around and sew it on that other line and cut in between them, and that's going to give us 2 little blocks. You'll see what I mean as I go along. All right, here's one, and 1 more after this. So again, just lay it corner to corner, and then move your roller over 1/2 inch so that your 1/2 inch line lines up on the line you just drew, and then draw another line. All right. So when you're making this block, you want to make sure that you put your lines on so that the center line goes like this. Make sure all your fabric is oriented in the same direction. So put all of these so that the yellow is going this same way. You can see right here. So these are all oriented the same direction. Then we're going to put this on here like this. And this second line is going to go up toward the corner. So this one we're going to sew this way. So you want to make sure they're all that way. And this is important, so pay attention to this. So they're all going the same direction. Otherwise your pinwheels won't, you know, they won't spin. I won't tell you how I know that, but I know this for a fact. All right. So now we've got these stacked up. We're going to go through and chain piece these, and I'm going to sew all of these, come back around and sew on the secondary line as well, right on the line. So let's go over here and do that. And I'm going to make sure my block is still all nice and lined up on the edge of my strips. And we're going to come this way. And then I'm going to turn this around, and I'm going to come out here and sew again. And then we're just going to do that 4 more times. So remember, keep your blocks oriented the right direction and all your strips going the same. The colorway is the same. All right, now we've got all 4 of these done, and we are going to cut off this little extra edge right here. So I'm just going to put my ruler and put it right in the middle and trim that off, and do that to all my blocks. And 1 more. Now we're going to press these open, and we're just going to roll them back. So I'm not worried about the dark being on the dark side. I'm just worried about these being nice flat blocks. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take another one of our strips, and we are going to put it right along the side. So this should be 6.5 inches. Let's measure. Yep, it's 6.5. And then I'm going to pick a coordinating color. Let's go for purple. I think that'll be kind of fun. And we're going to cut 4 6.5-inch strips off of this. So I'm taking off my selvage. Make sure these are, sometimes it's shorter on the other side. And then I'm going to cut 6.5-inch strips for the side, and we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.5. And we need 4 of those, 1 to go on each side of our block. All right, now what we're going to do is we're going to, again, watch your orientation, and these have to all be the same. And this strip is going to actually go right here along this side. So it's going to kind of frame up that little white half square triangle right there. So we just want to make sure that all these go on the side. So let's take these over the sewing machine, and we're going to chain piece them together. I'm going to put my purple strip on the bottom, and I'm going to put my little block on the top, and I'm going to chain piece these right down the side. Now chain piece means that I'm going to actually sew this along here without cutting my thread. So I'm going to do all 4 of these, one after the other, after the other. All right, there's that one. And 1 more. All right, then we're going to press these open. Like this. And just roll them back. This time the dark does stay to the dark side. All right, and now we're going to put these together for a block because they should be square now. And so we're going to put these together, and we're hoping our yellow is going to make the little pinwheel in the center. Like this. So see how fun that is? Makes a fun little block. Now what we're going to do is I'm going to sew this together for you, and it's just like sewing a giant 4-patch. So we're going to sew these 2. Let me pull this petal. My petal. I have such long legs, my petal gets away from me. And then this one, whoops, you know what? I'm not exactly sure what side to sew on, so I am going to lay this out so I can look and make sure I'm in the right place. Here we go, this one. All right, there we go. We're sewing these two sides together right here. And that was better than picking, right? And then we're going to sew these two together. And the only seam we have to match, we have to watch these and we have to watch these two outside ones right here. So I'm going to fold this on top of each other, and I'm going to take a couple of anchoring stitches, and then I'm going to look to make sure that I'm lined up on my little seams. And whenever I sew past a seam that I'm trying to line up next to, I make sure that it's lined up, and then I go to the next junction and line that one up as well. Oh, there we go. Just kind of bunching up right there. All right, and this, let me clip off some of these threads. There's a lot of them. I need to become a better snipper, don't I? All right, so now we're going to press this. See how that worked out? Our center looks real good. Our edges are matched up real nice. And this right here, this makes your block. Isn't that great? But wait, there's more. So remember these little pieces we cut off right here? Look what happens. Let's press these open and let me show you what happens when you press these open. We get these cute little blocks. And one more. There we go. And look at these cute little blocks. Now you're going to want to square yours so they're all the same size. And then you're going to put them together just like a pinwheel. Again, look. Put all these blue ones to the center. And you get the tiny pinwheel with the bigger leg. That gives you a secondary block. That's this one right here. And guess what we did with those? Those are the blocks that are in the border. We had these few little blocks that were left over, but this would also make a fun secondary project. So if you decide you want all fabric borders, but you want to do a little secondary project out of these, you have a whole block that's ready to go. All right, so let me show you how to put these together. You're going to take your big blocks, and you can see from our quilt back here that we've sashed them. So you measure your block, and your sashing is that same measurement. It's the same measurement on both sides, and then we're cutting a little 2.5-inch square. We had little pieces left over from our strips, so you just cut a little 2.5-inch square. And let me show you how these go together, because this is kind of fun. All right, so I have some pieces cut here. And again, your block and your sashing should be the same size. So we've got this one. We're going to put this one on here. We're going to keep going. How many do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4 of those. And we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4 down. So we've got 16. We only put our little blocks in the centers. And so when you get ready to put them together, you're going to have 4 across and 4 down. And then this secondary row right here, this is going to come in between, like, you know what, let's use the other one so we have a different block there than the purple. And this is going to go in between them right here. So you'll sew your sashing to your 2.5-inch square, your sashing, and then you'll sew your next set of blocks together with a block, or your next row, block and a sashing and a block, just like that. And it just makes a really fun, quick quilt. And then again, you've got your little tiny blocks that you can put in your border to corner your quilt, or you can use it as a secondary project. So we hope you enjoyed this tutorial on the Twist and Shout quilt from the Missouri Star Quilt Company.